everyone, this is Yael from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here with your weekly Twin Flame reading for the week of September 11th to the 17th. First of all, thank you for all your well wishes and your emails and your messages asking how I was. I know I've been away for a couple of weeks and, well, life happened. And I think this was also brought by the solar eclipse on the 21st, because after that, everything just came, it's like it came one after the other. And like the rest of you, when these things happen, you just have to cope. And of course, as my clients already know, I've lost a very close friend of mine who passed away suddenly, and I had to cope with that. And so I could not do readings and healings for the time that I had to deal with the grief. Of course, it doesn't go away suddenly, but I do have my energy up already, and I have been managing my backlog. So that's what happened in the meantime. But there's this distinct feeling after the solar eclipse. I don't know if you guys have felt it, but it seems like that was a graduation of sorts for a lot of twins. And this has been appearing in my personal readings that I do for clients as well, that a lot of them have really ushered in this new phase in their lives. Most often the Fool card comes up signifying a new phase, and I feel that too. And there's a lot of movement right now with the earth. I know that we have been grounding all these energies, ushering change from your respective grid points, and you can see that Mother Earth is responding. The earth is shaking. There are big hurricanes, storms, typhoons. Everywhere volcanoes are erupting. Everywhere. It's like this is all this, aside from climate change, it is the time for the earth to reshuffle from the inside. And that's why right now this is a time we're in, whether it's external, what's happening to Gaia, or internally, what's happening in your own personal lives. This is a time to just hold on fast. And because it's not yet over. I do feel that. A couple of days ago, I did have a dream wherein there was an earthquake. But the curious thing was, it was happening, and I was at all these places at once, different levels. One of it was one segment, I guess you would call it a segment, of the dream was that I was on a very high floor in a high-rise condominium. The next one, I was at some sort of a garden, but different levels. Those are just extremes, high and up. But there were different levels. But when the rubble came tumbling down, I wasn't as panicked as I thought I would have been in my dream. Okay, I wasn't as panicked. But then a masculine very close to me, not my twin, okay, I felt him, I saw him. He actually the rubble didn't actually fall on him, but he was very much shaken up by the earthquake that I think he fainted. And this is a reflection. This is what I got when I was asking what my dream was about, of how our divine masculines are coping with all these divine dispensation as it regards their awakening. Okay, some of them are really all shook up. That's it. Because It's like, and this has appeared in one of my clients' readings also as regards her divine masculine, that for a time, you know, the energy was going gentle. It was like persuasion still. But when that didn't work, there was an override wherein, okay, it looks like you're not getting this, but it's time for this to happen. So, bam, there it is. And that manifests in different aspects, in various in your various personal lives. Okay, but basically that's the bottom line. If persuasion doesn't work, you know, trying to imbibe sometimes, and this is a time wherein the earth needs you, you're being called to action, and bam, things happen. Okay, so anyway, let's get on with the reading. I'm sorry, I think my intro took longer than usual, but I just missed you guys. Okay, so anyway, I've already prayed over the cards and shuffled them. And at the bottom of the deck, we have here the scribe. And the scribe, well, he's a record keeper. He's an observer, and this also ties into what I was saying earlier, wherein we have to hold on while the energies are still swirling around, and it's not yet settling. There is this is being, you have to be observant. You know, that is the scribe, and you have to, because a lot of things happen and you think that it is confined to, let's say, something about the weather. Okay, everybody will say it's just the weather. But because you are already moving along, further along in your ascension process, and you know that there is a bigger picture, that is why you're being asked to observe and watch as all these things that you have worked hard for the earth, okay, for the planet, and of course in your personal lives and in your personal journeys, observe, watch, take note of those things that are happening, because they're all interconnected. See, okay, there, see, we have the next card here is the journey. And again, this describes the personal path that you are on right now, that you have to be vigilant, okay, and about this journey, the changes in this journey, because here the energies right now is the youth. It's something new, and we have been working on this since early this year rather, you know, because this year was the number 1 year, remember? It's a new cycle in the earth. Don't forget that. I know you may be concentrated on the weekly readings, and because I was also busy coping with things that were happening in my life, I really haven't touched base. So this is a direct challenge. I really don't know what's going on right now in the twin flame community, but I'm assuming that I will get caught up also. So this is a direct channeling, and this is this new energy wherein it's very young, very adventurous. You go where it takes you because you have no fear of what's coming. That fear, that apprehension that a lot of the twin flames had, the collective had last year, that has been transmuted and purged. So now that we're in this, it is finally manifesting and reflecting in our physical circumstances. This is go forth. If you watch Lord of the Rings, that is go forth, Aerlingus, okay? So anyway, because here we have the maiden, and this is also related to this youth, okay? Because the maiden here, she's very independent. She's assertive. She knows that if she's with somebody, it's her choice. if she chooses to take on a lover, okay, that's her choice. But if she chooses not to take on a lover, let's say you're in separation with your twin and you don't want, you know, those, to get into a relationship with someone in the meantime, that's fine too. Because you know that it's not something you need. Everything is by choice. So she's very assertive, independent. So I'm going to stop there, but those are the general energies here. Things are still moving, okay, on the path. Be very observant there. Okay, so this side will be the side for the divine masculine. This side will be the side for the divine feminine. Okay, so for the divine masculine, the first card that we have is the King of Air. And this King of Air, number one, he's very fair. He's very objective. He's very rational and balanced. He's also rather stern. And when I say that, it means that because he uses his, he's very rational about things, okay? He can see, when I say rational about things, emotion takes a backside. If the divine masculines before, well, some of them have been staying with their karmics for emotional and sentimental reasons, this card says that they're now looking at things from a very objective phase and not from a base point, a standpoint of sentimentality that, oh, we've been together for 20 something years. It's too much of an emotional investment if I leave her now, or stuff like that. Okay, this is looking at it above emotion already. And for the other kings, I mean, for the other divine masculines that are referred to by this King of Air, some of them will be doing the cutting, okay, if they haven't already. So there, but of course we will pick clarifying cards later on. The second card for the divine masculine is integrity, and this has to do with their personal, their authentic truth, okay? And this is why this card came up, the King of Air, because look, when you have integrity, it's like in politics, okay? Well, the stereotype is that there are very few politicians who are really honorable at the same time and have integrity in their word and deed. Okay, but when you have integrity, number one, you don't take ownership of what isn't yours. When it's time, let's say you borrowed something and it's time for it to return it, then you return it at the appointed time. You keep your word. You keep your truth. Because here, when this integrity, you see here, there is a woman here, and there is an owl signifying wisdom, and a jaguar signifying power. It's the feline power. And this, it's like their internal antenna. It's telling them, well, some of you would call it your intuition, that actually points you to what your soul truth is. They're getting more in touch with this. And they want to honor that, what their soul is telling them at this time. Okay? So, that has to do with upholding their inner truth. Okay. And the next card we have for the divine masculine is desire. And here we have this boy and then, well, this man, and he has this dragon here, and he has a ram signifying determination. You know how the ram rams its horns. It's actually why it's got its name. Okay, because it has it's very persistent. You know, when you keep ramming something with a bull ram, you know, you want to get in. It's like ramming the door with a log. You don't stop. The ram doesn't stop until he keeps headbutting his ram opponents. And so that's persistence. The dragon is his co-creatorship aspects. The eagle is his focus. You know, how the eagles focus on their prey. And here's the third eye guiding him with what he desires out of his life. And you see here, this is below this card that says integrity. Okay, so now he is aligning what he wants with what he desires with what he truly wants. It's like honing your preferences, because he's getting to know himself. He's getting a clearer signal on who he is, how he defines himself. Then he is recalibrating his preferences, his desires, because he wants to create them. Okay, and the next card we have for the Divine Masculine is the Seven of Earth. And here, this Seven of Earth, okay, this represents, it's like the full blossoming of the Divine Masculine. Look at this. From air, he goes down to earth. And this is a need to be grounded, to be connected. Because here, he's going up, and here, he's grounding it down, because he wants to manifest his truth and his desires. So there is a need for grounding, for being connected to the earth, and knowing. Okay, that's why there's this meditation here. This man is meditating, and he's actually on fire, because he's ready to create this truth that he has ascertained from his higher self down on earth. Now, let's pick clarifying cards for these. Oops. Okay. Okay, let me shuffle them well. Okay. Okay, one more. Okay. Okay, for the King of Air. See, remember, there has been a change, especially one that was brought on by the solar eclipse, and this is what remained. You know, it's like the saying, when the smoke clears, see who's still standing, and that's how you know who won. And between emotions and this, his intellect, as connected to his higher self, well, this is the one that won that battle. For integrity, okay, see, this is all of a sudden, okay, so all of a sudden, he has gotten in touch with his internal truth. Remember, I was telling you that these things, it was an override. You're not getting it here. The universe is saying here. The universe will give a specific set of circumstances wherein it's like you have an epiphany. That's why it's all of a sudden. For desire, okay. See, because this is a sort of like a cloistered garrison, and this is what he has wanted for a long time. Because here, this is closed off. This is gated. Okay, meaning not everybody had access to his true desires. Well, for others, it's going to be he's still keeping this secret, or he's still keeping it behind closed doors, kind of like in the closet. All these things that he wants to create, his desires. For others, he's keeping it safe from the others who are prying, who might try to thwart his plans. Because if you remember, a lot of the divine masculines have to extricate themselves from very complicated situations. So it could be either of those things. And for the Seven of Earth, okay, this delay, but this is delayed only because, look, the earth is still shaking. The energies are still settling. And this is why he's being told to meditate, to ground. Whether it's just being in silence, when you try to hear your voice of your higher self, because this is presenting as his higher self above the din. So if they're in chaotic situations, troublesome situations, they're going to try to, well, it might present as escapism, but he needs that space in order to hear himself. And that is delayed right now because he's still grounding that. But look at this. The delay pertains to these two lower base chakras, okay? The root chakra, self-preservation, and the sacral chakra, pleasure, because he's taking himself out of the situation in order to listen to his higher self. And the card here for the divine masculine, here we have the Emperor. So look, the energy that he has now is of fixing things. You see here this big strong tree, and its leaves, its branches are spread over all these little trees. Okay, it's like it's giving it cover. And what this reminds me, remember, all of us are monads. So there is a soul group, because we are twins. Okay, there is a soul group that you are sort of watching over. And this would be it. Everybody that's you have encountered, affected, influenced in a meaningful way, that was part of your soul contract to get in touch with, cross paths with at this time. Here the divine masculine is kind of fixing all those, okay, from an overview already of, because he knows the truth of who he is. And he knows that he is responsible for those other people in his soul family, to a certain extent, depending on their soul contracts. Okay? So, there. Okay, let's go on to the divine masculine. Divine feminine, rather. This side's for the divine feminine. The first card we have for the divine feminine is the King of Fire. And look at this. See, I told you, you're in a graduation of sorts. For the divine masculine, first card is also a king. Okay? For the divine feminine, here is the King of Fire. And this King of Fire is a very mature energy. This talks about conscious creation, okay? And even bravery. You can see this lion here, and it's in the position of where her Christed heart, the higher heart, resides. And because the higher heart is now activated in a lot of the divine feminines, they can move on with courage, with strength. They can be this lion. And remember, for the past couple of weeks, ever since that heart energy opening came on, I don't know if it was last month or last month, but it was around the time when I was offering heart chakra Reiki. That energy was being brought on by being precipitated or facilitated by the lion people. So this is very important, okay? Because this talks about creating consciously while moving forward in a very mature way. So now you're living your life from the viewpoint that you are conscious of what happens and that you will be accountable for all your choices. I mean, perhaps, let me put it this way, perhaps before you found out that you were on a twin flame journey, it was very easy for you to just move on. Okay, it looks like that didn't work out. He rejected me. Move on to the next person. But then, you know now that there are consequences because you're going to affect this life. There may be delays with your twin, but then again, it may alleviate the pain of separation, but of course, on a very superficial level. But nonetheless, what I'm talking about is conscious creation here. Okay, the next card we have for the Divine Feminine is the Six of Air. And this Six of Air talks about solutions, okay? Because right now, most of the Divine Feminines are barreling, like I said earlier, this is, holding on fast until the energy and how it is manifesting in your personal lives until that settles down. This is a card of solutions and compromises because it also depends on how this energy manifests in your personal lives or around you. But this is a card of compromise. You can see black and white. It's also balance. Because here, look at this. From black and white, you see her crown. There is almost like a rainbow coming out of her crown. And this means that this... Hold on. Okay, sorry. You're saying something. Okay. In relation to, for those Divine Feminines who have been waiting for their Divine Masculines to show up, this card is manifesting in the sense that you're not as agitated because of the wait, because there is an understanding born out of this energy that the Divine Masculine is still on his way to fixing things. I know, he's always on his way fixing things, but then that's how it is. It's like, you know how long it took for the Earth to get to this level of its existence, wherein all the tectonic plates are shuffling around, wherein, the storms get to, I don't know, category, I don't know how because here, where I am, we only have typhoons up to level 5, okay? And if you remember Typhoon Haiyan, which hit my country, that was the strongest typhoon on record. But I think this new one that's hit the west, okay, in US and the Caribbean and the surrounding islands, I think that might maybe stronger. But it took a while for the Earth to get to this point wherein it's saying that things need to change, okay? And they're not just little things that you would be noticeable. It's something big that you can't ignore. Okay, but for the other Divine Feminines that are actually, it is having some sort of peace of mind, okay, wherein even if their Divine Masculines are still not with them, for those who are in separation, this is the knowing that you have nothing, you may have nothing, but you also have everything. You get what I'm saying? It's like whether or not the Divine Masculine comes, it doesn't matter. And yet, it matters a great deal. It's It's very hard to explain this, but I have mentioned this in one of my videos. It is the divine dichotomy, wherein the alpha is also the omega, the nothing is the everything, the not there is also there. You get what I'm saying? And this is where a lot of the divine feminines who are at peace of where they are, because they know that he's one step behind, that eventually he's gonna get to her, okay? But this is not being agitated about it, not throwing a fit about it, not adding the drama, the energy of drama in there, because you go on with your lives. That is the compromise of some of the divine feminines, because they're creating consciously what they want to experience. Okay, and the next card for the divine feminines, look at this, the child. And like I said, this has appeared for a lot of my clients, because this is equivalent to the Fool card. This beginning of this new phase, new chapter in your book that has the title, The Twin Flame Journey. Okay, so this is a new chapter. This is very innocent. And when I say innocent, it's because most of the things that have hurt you or have caused you pain, you have transmuted that already. Okay, and even if it's really, well, to put it simplistically, bad stuff, bad behavior of your twin. Now, I have to put a disclaimer, because there are a lot of twins who have mistaken karmic partners for their true twin, and have justified their bad behavior because of that label, twin flame, unconditional love, and you know how the logic goes. That's not it. This is saying what you did was wrong. Okay, I forgive you, but you don't tolerate it. Okay, this is a new chapter wherein you're more mature. You understand things for what they are. And you understand that this is a new beginning, a new phase. Like I said, we've already graduated, I don't know, from middle school, from high school, and getting on to the next level. Okay, and the last card for the Divine Feminine, see here, this is Union. Okay, and it's a very auspicious card, because it is below the King of Fire, because this is also what you want to create. And whether that's internal, which is coming into balance, or external, meaning some sort of committed relationship, or the paradigm of being together, even if it's in a non-traditional sense, there is union. And that's why the energy here is being at peace, coming to terms with what is at present, which is good, because you're living in the now. You're not living with a fear of whether this or that may not happen in the future. You're not living in fear of with regret of the past and what could have been, or the one, you know, it's like your eternal status, I don't know, on Facebook is, you know, you are the one that got away, you know, thinking about, feeling bad about the one who got away. Because there's an understanding that you want to create this union, and that this new chapter is heading there, because you're looking at things, you're presenting a different energy already. Okay, let's be clarifying cards for these. Okay, for the King of Fire, See, this is negotiations. This is dealings with other people. So very conscious when it comes to relating with other people, interacting with other people, and even with your twin's higher self. Remember, everything you say, you do, it's an energy you project. They pick up on it. Okay, so this is being very conscious that, you know, you're not putting out resentment, you're not putting out blame or guilt, not for show. Remember, he has his internal antenna for the truth, for things that are authentic, is on. So even if you text him saying that, hey, it's okay, but it's really not okay, he picks up on that. Okay, so here, for the 6 of air, see here, this is amity, this is friendship. And this goes hand in hand with what I said, the happy compromise. Because with your friends, you know, well, with your real friends, there's no hostility. It's not antagonistic. You may, even if you have a difference of opinion, you know that the friendship remains. That is, if you're real friends, okay? You have to distinguish that from your fake friends. The friends that you say you're friends with, or who say they're friends with you, but behind your back, they do a whole lot of other stuff, and say a lot of stuff. Okay, for the child, okay, here, these are messages about this new beginning. So watch out for that. And no, the universe will not put a post-it on your fridge saying this is a new chapter in your life. That's why you're being asked to be observant. Look at the signs that this is something new for you. This is like getting, you know, if you have if your eyesight requires prescription glasses, sometimes your prescription goes higher. You don't notice it because, you know, you're already wearing glasses. But the thing is, sometimes things are more blurry than usual. And here, this is like being given new glasses, and you're seeing things from a different lens, a clearer lens. So that's it. So check around, be very astute about all these messages that may be being given you about this. It's like your new mission orders for this new phase. Okay, and for the last card, for the Union card, okay, you know what, for a while there I was scared. What if it was a bad card that I picked? But no, look at this. It's love, union, and the love card. So being very conscious that this is what you want to create in all your relationships, in all aspects, internally, externally, with your twin. Everything is about love. Okay? And the card here in the middle, no, not yet in the middle, for the Divine Feminine, here we have the inverted tree. And this is what I was talking about earlier, wherein you see things with new glasses, new lenses, because this talks about a different perspective. And it is a very calming perspective, especially if you're already in this energy, wherein you're seeking for compromise, solutions. It's like saying, okay, I know you're still taking longer to wrap this up, but you know, there is the trust there, the mutual trust that he is doing something. And this is saying, it's okay. It's like when your friend is late. You have a meeting time and, you know, your friend is running late. The person you're going to meet is running late. And you don't throw a hissy fit because they're late. You're just saying, hey, it's okay. I'll just, you know, have coffee here while I'm waiting for you. That is the energy that this is talking about. Okay, so I'm going to pick a card in the middle for the joint energies. Okay. Okay. This is the Four of Air. And here, look at this. Everything is connected, and there's a clock. There's a clock. He's wearing it around his neck, and it is above his higher heart. And what this is saying is it's time, because all the things, it's like a web, it's like synergy. They're all slowly connecting the dots. Everything is being connected now. Okay? And whether that's the earth, symbolized here, above, and to the left and to the right, everything is being interconnected. The dots are now being seen. How your role, okay, in everything that is going on around you, on the planet, everything is connected. And you're seeing that. And that's why you're being told to be observant. And this is always what happens when I cut the cards. I forget. And then I have to get back to it. Here. See, that's why you're being told to be observant, to learn from it. Even watch at a distance, because sometimes when you're too close, you have myopia. You see it too close. So, be the observer, see how things are connecting. Whether it's in your personal lives, your relationship with your twin, the connection is there. Okay, so anyway, that's what I have for you this week. I'm nearly caught up on all my readings, just a couple more. So if you would like a personal reading or some healing sessions, if you're not in this energy yet, then do consider the healing sessions that I offer. And also, if you want to support your twin here, he's in a good place in the sense that he's getting that signal more clearly, and he's honing his preferences, and he has to take time out before to ground it, to bring it to the earth and manifest. Okay, so that's what I have for you, everyone. Take care. Bye.